Yeah. So we have the ruling. We have the ruling. We have the judgment, rather. We have the judgment. The court has just delivered a summary judgment. A summary judgment. The court has adjourned. They will come back, but they will basically just come and give the details. But they have ruled that Edgar Lungu's body must be repatriated back to Zambia for the purpose of burial, to be honored. Now, I'll just go through some of the issues, just briefly. What was in contention? Okay, the court went through, what has happened basically. So, when Edgar Lungu died, according to the court, he died in South Africa when he was receiving medical treatment. This is very important. Edgar Lungu died in South Africa when he was receiving medical treatment. So, though we haven't gotten the details of that, it is clear that the court is not recognizing Edgar Lungu as a resident of South Africa. Okay, this is very, very important. It's very important to note. The court said he died on 5th June whilst receiving medical treatment. This is important because there was an argument which the Lungu family were trying to bring in to say Edgar Lungu had sought asylum in South Africa. They were saying that he is a resident of South Africa. But according to the summary that the judge has read out, is that he died whilst receiving medical treatment in South Africa. It is not by accident that the judge read out that statement. It is not by accident. It means a lot. It means Edgar Lungu was not a resident of South Africa, as people wanted to purport. So that is the first thing. Then upon his death, the court recognized that the government of Zambia and the Lungu family sat. Very, very important. The court has recognized that the Lungu family and the government of Zambia sat and they reached an agreement. This is important because people were trying to say there was no agreement. Makebi Zulu and even the lawyer, the family lawyer, was trying to say there was no agreement. But the court recognized that there was an agreement. And this agreement resulted in the press briefing that was held and a date to be set that Edgar Lungu's body should be repatriated on the 18th of June. Okay? So, the court has refused to agree with the assertions of Makebi Zulu and the lawyer who argued to say there was no agreement. The court has said no, there was an agreement, and this agreement resulted in a date being set so that the body can go to Zambia. Unfortunately, on the date that the body was supposed to go to Zambia, on that date, there was a change from the family. There was a change from the family. And the change resulted in them deciding to bury the body in South Africa. Now, again, this is a very important point, because on that day, the body was supposed to go to Zambia. Unfortunately, the family changed and instead said they will bury in South Africa. So, the court has recognized that it is the family that changed, because they are the ones, instead of taking the body, they said, we are going to bury here. Okay? This was not there before, when they were making that agreement. But it came when they changed that they won't go to Zambia. And because of that, the Zambian government went to court to stop the family from burying in South Africa. So, the government of Zambia went to court because the family changed. The family backtracked on what was agreed. And this is why the Zambian government went to court. And when they went to court, what did they... but before I come to that, again, this point is important in the sense that some people were saying, we have not buried for 2 months because the Zambian government have stopped it. I think the court has made it clear why the Zambian government went to court. Anyway, when they went to court, what did the Zambian government want? The Zambian government prayed or asked the court that no, this man was a former head of state. And as a former head of state, he's supposed to be buried according to, what is said in Zambia. What is said in Zambia. And then they also spoke about public interest. As a former head of state, this man has got high public interest. And they quoted the law or the ruling which was done in Zambia relating to the former head of state, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda. Dr. Kenneth Kaunda said, I don't want to be buried at Embassy Park. I want to be buried next to my wife at my farm. But when the family went to court, the court ruled that public interest overrides personal interest. This is what was argued by the state. Remember, follow me well. Number one, they said, no, he's a former head of state. We cannot. Number one is that they complained, an injunction. We agreed that these people, that the body should come to Zambia. But they have changed their mind. So please, court, intervene. This was the Zambian government. Then secondly, they said, intervene because this man must be buried in Zambia because he's a former head of state. Then number three, they said, this man has got public interest. Public interest because he was a former head of state. And they cited a case of Bakaunda. And by the way, Bakaunda's ruling was done during Edgar Lungu's rule. Edgar Lungu was president. So anyway, the government used that case. Then they prayed to the court that he should go. Now, in response to that, the family said that there was no agreement. The family said there was no agreement in their response, in their argument in court. They said, no, there was no argument, there was no court, there was no proper, using the terminology that the court used, said a genuine agreement, that there was no genuine agreement. Okay? So these are the responses. That came from the family. that they refused. No, there was no agreement. There was no genuine agreement. Now, the court, considering all these things, the court then responded. What is the court's response? So the court's response, number one, is that they recognize that there was an agreement. Otherwise, how did they agree on a date? How was the date set for Edgar Lungu to be repatriated? There was an agreement. So the court has agreed. No, there was an agreement. And then, in terms of the law, the court also, by the way, the family argued that according to South African laws, the body must be given to the family. Okay? The family argued that the body must be given to the family. What did the court say on that one? The court said, considering the man that died, that he is a former head of state who was only receiving medical treatment in South Africa, the court has said the court cannot just look at the South African law. This point is very important because we were busy arguing to say, no, according to the laws in South Africa, they must give the family. The court said, looking at the man that died, he's a former head of state. And he was only receiving, remember the first point, that he died whilst receiving medical treatment. He was only receiving medical treatment. There is no way the South African government or the South African court can only restrict itself to the laws of South Africa. Therefore, they considered the laws of South Africa, the laws of Zambia and South Africa. And according to them, they said the laws in Zambia says that private interests or individual interests are overridden by public interest. The family, the court has said, we can't just restrict ourselves to the South African court. We also have to look at the Zambian court, the Zambian law. And according to the Zambian law, with this precedence, whatever Balungu said on a personal level or whatever the family wants, when you go to Zambia, where this man is coming as a former head of state, the law says that private interest or family interest cannot override public interest. So the court has agreed with the Zambian law, and they have refused to bring in the issue of to say, no, the body must be handed to the family, because this man was only receiving medical treatment in South Africa, and he's a former head of state, and there is a law which says that as a president at that level, public interest precedes personal or individual interests. Therefore, whatever Edgar Lungu wanted, the court cannot take it. Whatever Esther Lungu wanted, the court cannot take it. So, this is what the court has said. Then, in terms of giving orders now, what should happen? What should happen? The court, in terms of disregarding the judgment to set aside the agreement, the court, they said no order. Anyway, the orders that let me just take you to the orders that are important. The orders, the court has ordered that the body of Edgar Chagwa Lungu be repatriated back to Zambia for the purpose of the funeral, you know, the state funeral, for the purpose of the state funeral. So the court has ordered, it is an order. Right now, the body of Edgar Chagwa Lungu must be repatriated by the Zambian government to Zambia. Order number one. Order number two, they have said Immediately after that, immediately after the reading of that judgment, the Lungu family must surrender the body of Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Immediately. As we are talking now, the Lungu family have got no right to hold on to that body. As we are talking, the Lungu family have got no right to hold on to the body. They have to surrender the body to the Zambian government. Then another order is that the Lungu family are allowed to be present during the repatriation of the body. Two members of the family. 2 members of the family can accompany the body of Edgar Chagwa Lungu as it is coming to Zambia. So it is up to them. The court has ruled that they should be present as the body is coming to Zambia. So these are the orders. And most importantly, takeaway is that number 1, the body of Edgar Lungu will be repatriated to Zambia. Whether the family wants it or not, the court has ruled. It is no longer up to the family now. It is no longer up to the family. It is the Zambian government. And then another important point is that they should surrender. Remember, there was an issue of the body has been taken to a secret location and so on and so forth. The court has ruled to say the family must surrender the body immediately. They must surrender the body. And once they surrender the body, when the body is making the movements, they are allowed to be part of the body. This is what the ruling has said. Now, if I can make my personal comments is that, please, I want to beg to both sides that this is not about win or lose. Please, na papat. This is not about win or lose. This is not about PF valusa. This is not about mayoba esta valusa. It's not about that. This is about what is right. This is about what is right. And surely for me, this is all I've been desiring. This is all I've been wanting. You have called me names, you have hated me, you have done all sorts of things. But for me, this is all I wanted. I simply wanted that Balungu, as a former head of state, be buried in Zambia so that we can have a national mourning. We can have a national mourning. And I'm praying that President Hakainde Hichilema and government will take appropriate steps so that we can revive the national mourning. My prayer is that we can revive the national mourning. We can give it a few days, okay? A few days to prepare ourselves and really to have a national mourning. Whatever the differences that we could have had, can we put aside all those differences? Can we put aside all those differences and let us, revitalize, for lack of a better word, let us get back and really have that national mourning properly. Let us not rush it. Let us not rush it. We had differences. These differences are out now. Can we resume a national mourning properly? Let the national mourning be held properly without making shortcuts. It doesn't matter. Yes, we have waited for 2 months. Let us just bring it back. Let us bring the rhythm of national mourning. Let us bring that rhythm, okay? And let us have a proper send-off. A proper send-off. To the family, I really believe that they still have an opportunity to handle this case properly. They still have an opportunity to handle this case properly. I am very sure Hakainde Hichilema is still able to listen. I am sure Hakainde Hichilema and his government are able to listen to whatever issues that they may have, even at this point in time. And that is my prayer. That is my prayer, that President Hakainde Hichilema will still be open to engagement, even at this point in time. I am really praying that the government will still, even at this point in time, in spite of all this that has happened, will still be able to listen to the family. Will still be able to listen to the family. And I hope that the family will not continue being adamant. I hope at this point in time, they can soften up and still be able to engage with government on whatever issues, including on how the burial should be done. This is my prayer. I know you are watching me. I know you are listening. My prayer really is that sana sana, the Lungu family, na imoba PF, na mi papa, bamdala wa given Lubinda, show leadership here. Bamdala wa given Lubinda, show leadership. Nakachinda, my brother, show leadership. Brani Mundubire, show leadership. We had differences. The court has ruled. We can still come together. We can still reconcile even at this point in time and be able to do something that people will look at to say, look at these people, they had differences. But look how they have handled everything. That is my prayer, really. Let's forget about whatever differences that we had and let's just put things together. This is not about somebody has won, somebody has lost. No. This is a moment we can unite as a country, as one Zambia, one nation. So that is my view. That is my view. I'm really praying that we won't get to those careless statements coming from the family. Makebi Zulu, please, 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 let us not have those statements. No, let us not go there. Let us not go there. Please. We can handle this differently. That is my view. I will monitor what other people will say and whatever. If it will be necessary, I'll come back at 20 hours. But otherwise, I'm happy the right thing has been decided. And I pray that all of us will follow the line. Thank you very much.